In this video, we're going to learn how to compute standard deviation. Okay, so not just deviations from the mean, but the standard deviation for a data set. So here's some steps. First, you find the mean. That's your number one. Number two, you're going to find the deviation of the data from the mean. That's what we did in the last example. Now, you're going to square each deviation. Okay, so that's step three. So take all those numbers we found in the last example, you square each one, and then step four, you add all of those up. That's what this sigma symbol here means. Add them all up. So we're going to take the number minus the mean, then we're going to square each of those, and then we're going to add them all up. And the fifth step, you divide by the number in the sample minus 1. So if there's 10 in the sample, you divide by 9. If there's 15 in the sample, you divide by 14. And the very last step is you take the square root of that number. Now in step 5, what you actually get is the variance, okay? But they don't ask you for the variance. They will ask you when you get to statistics. But this book asks for the standard deviation, and the square root of the variance is the standard deviation. So it's these 6 steps. All right, so it says, find the standard deviation for the ages of the 4 presidents. So here's our 4 presidents. We already know the mean. We did that in a previous example. So we know that the mean is 68. That's our step 1. Step 2, we want to find all the deviations from the mean. We did 2 of them. It's on the next slide. Steps 3 and 4, we're going to square them and add them up. So let's look. Here's our data. We know the mean is 68. That's what this symbol means, mean. So we did 70 minus 68 is 2. 69 minus 68 is 1. 68 minus 68 is 0. 65 minus 68 is negative 3. Now we square these numbers. 2 squared is 4. 1 squared is 1. 0 squared is 0. Negative 3 squared is 9. Okay. And then the next step, step 4, says add all of those up. And when you add those up, you get 14. That's what these symbols mean. Add the sum of, okay, your deviations from the mean squared. Add all those up. And then we're going to use those in a formula. I think I skipped a slide. There we go. So step 5, you take that sum that we just got, okay, so the sum from right here, okay, we take that sum and we divide that by n minus 1. Okay, so there were 4 in our data. 4 minus 1 would be 3. So you do 14 divided by 3, and we get 4.67. Now what we have now is our variance. To go from the variance to the standard deviation, we just have to take the square root. So step 6 says take the square root of 4.67, and then your standard deviation will be 2.16. So the standard deviation of the 4 oldest U.S. presidents is approximately 2.16.